All right, here we go. Starting with warm-up 44. As I'm going over this warm-up, guys, I will try to leave each question up for a little bit, but if you miss it, I go on the next question, you didn't get something, you can just go back on the video and click pause and have it there for as long as you want. All right, so let's start in the top left-hand corner with the word problem. And today is March 16th, 2020. All right, the gym teacher has spent $253 on exercise balls. If each exercise ball cost $11, how many exercise balls did she buy? I'm going to go ahead and do some long division here. So we'll set that up with 253 as our dividend, and then 11 as our divisor. 11 does not go into 2. It goes into 25 2 times. I know that just from math facts. So if that's not a math fact that you have memorized, you can go ahead and do a little problem over here until you figure out what it's supposed to be. But hopefully you need to work on your math facts if you're not thinking of that one right away. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 1 is 2, right? So 11 times 2 is 22. That's a little bit misaligned, so I'm going to do that again for you. All right, we have to subtract. 5 minus 2 is 3. 2 minus 2 is 0. And then we need to bring down our next number. So now we're looking at how many times does 11 go into 33? 3 times. 3 times 11 is 33, which means when we subtract, it comes out evenly. We get 0, so we have no remainder. So our final answer is that she bought 23 exercise balls. All right, I'm going to go ahead and scooch right over here for decimals. All right, it says write each decimal as a fraction. So if you remember, we've talked in class about how we say, like when we say them out loud or when we write them in word form, decimals and fractions, we say them, write them the same way. So hopefully that'll help you. So looking at this first one here, 0.9, we're going to go ahead and put a 9 over, and then we need to think, what place is that 9 in? And it's in the tenths place, so that's 9/10. Looking at this next one, 0.16, go ahead and write a 16. And then we just have to figure out what the denominator is. And this second, so this decimal goes out 2 places, which is the hundredths place. And if you're having trouble remembering about the places, remember our tip was how many places past the decimal is it? 1, 2. So then you put a 1 with 1, 2 zeros. 2 places past the decimal is the hundredths place with 2 zeros. So looking at this over here, we'll go ahead and write 54 on top. Thinking, what place is this? Well, it's 1, 2, 3 past the decimal. So we're going to write a 1 and 1, 2, 3 zeros, 54 thousandths. Or that th at the end, thousandths. Whenever, if it's to the right of the decimal, it's going to have that th on the end. Over here, 1.3, hopefully you didn't let this trick you. We're just going to go ahead and write it as a mixed number. So 1, and then we're going to do 3 over. What place is that 3 in? It's 1 place past the decimal, so 1 with 1 0 is 3/10. So 1 and 3/10. Same thing over here, we're going to write that 8 first, and then we can figure out what place that 7 is in. It's 2 places past the decimal, which is the hundredths place, so 8 and 7 hundredths. And then 0.326, we can go ahead and write all the numbers after the decimal. And then what the 6 is the last one, so what decimal place is that? 3 past the decimal point is the thousandth place, so 326 thousandths. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go down to this word problem here, and then we'll go back to the left to the next one. So Frank is saving money to buy a bike. Each week he doubles. Right, so each week he doubles the amount he saved from the previous week. If he saved $2 the first week, how much money will he have had in 7 weeks? So first I'm going to go ahead and fill in the weeks here in this little bar graph. Week 1, or bar chart I should say, week 2, week 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we know on week 1 he saved $2. And then it says every week he doubled. Doubled is the same as multiplying by 2, right? So what's 2 times 2? It's 4. 4 times 2 is 8. Keep doubling. 8 doubled is 16. 16 doubled is 32. 32 doubled is 64. And you might have to go and do multiplication on the side here, but 64 doubled is 128. So our answer is that on week 7, he would have saved, on week 7, he would have saved that $128, but it's asking how much money he saved total, I believe. Let's look at the question. How much money will he save in all 7 weeks? So it's looking like we have to add all those up now. Interesting. I'm going to go ahead and use this space on the side. So 128 plus 64. Let's do it this way first. I'm going to get rid of that. We'll do it this way first. 8 plus 4 is 12. Carry the 1. 2 plus 6 is 8 plus 1 is 9. Right, so those two give us 192. We'll add these two up. 32 plus 16. 2 plus 6 is 8. 3 plus 1 is 4. All right, so 16 and 32 give us 48. And then these other two, I'll put all together. So I'm going to go ahead and do 2 and 8 first in my head because I know that's 10. And then we add 4 to that, that's 14. So when we regroup them like that in our head, that was the associative property, which we've been talking about. So now that I'm working with only 3 numbers, I'll go ahead and add them up on the side. So 192 plus 48 plus 14. 2 plus 8 is 10, plus 4 is 14. Carry that 1. 1 plus 9 is 10. Plus 4 is 14, plus 1 is 15. Carry that 1. 1 plus 1 is 2. So here we go. Our final answer is in all 7 weeks. If we add up how much he saved each week, total, he would have saved $254. If that confused you, you can rewind and watch it again. I'm going to go over to the left to our subtraction problem. It says find the difference. So I'm pretty confident that most of you are confident in your subtraction ability. So we have to remember the biggest thing here that can mess you guys up with these big numbers is just lining them up correctly. So we want to make sure we're looking at our ones place and that those are lined up correctly. So what's in the ones place in our first number? It's this 9. What's in the ones place in the second number? It's 7, right? So when we finish, we got to make sure that 7 is right there below the 9. And in this case, both numbers have 1 comma, so that can help us out too. Our commas can be lined up. And that worked out that my 7 would have been there. I'm going to go ahead and change color so you can see what I'm doing when I have to borrow, because I can first see some borrowing. 9 minus 7 is 2. We can't do 0 minus 9, so we're going to borrow. That becomes a 0. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. We can't do 0 minus 2, so to borrow over here, that becomes a 5. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 2 is 8. We can't do 5 minus 6, so borrow again. That becomes a 4. This becomes 15. 15 minus 6 is 9. 4 minus 4 is 0. 3 minus nothing is 3. Remember, when we're adding our commas, we're going to start in the ones place and count every 3 we add a comma. So 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3. We don't have another number there, so we don't need another comma. And it worked out, if you look, that all our commas are actually lined up, just the same way that our decimals end up being lined up. So our final answer is 309,812. Oh, actually, let's go down to this division problem. Find the quotient. So I'm going to go ahead and set up long division again. 868 is our dividend. 41 is our divisor. How many times does 41 go into 86? Well, Sorry, I'm getting ahead of myself. We know it doesn't go into 8, right? So now we're saying how many times does it go into 86? I think it's a pretty good guess here that we're just going to double it. So 2 times. 2 times 1 is 2. 2 times 4 is 8. So 41 times 2 is 82. Do our subtraction. 6 minus 2 is 4. 8 minus 8 is 0. Bring down our next number. So now we have 48. How many times does 41 go into 48? Just once. 1 times 41 is itself, right? That's the identity property of multiplication, which I don't believe did we put that in our notes? Maybe we did. I think we did. Then we have to subtract here. 8 minus 1 is 7. 4 minus 4 is 0. We have nothing left to bring down, so that means 7 is our remainder. I'll go ahead and write our final answer up here. 21, remainder 7. I'm going to go ahead and go to the right to our last problem, vocabulary. All right, the answer to a multiplication problem is called the product. The answer to a division problem is called the quotient. And the answer to a subtraction problem, typo, is called the difference. All right, that's our warm-up for today. If I can figure out how to pause it. There it is. Thanks, guys.